it doesn't matter who they are. Nobody's allowed to treat you any old kind of way. It doesn't matter who's looking. You know, I felt an obligation to like my following to keep this thing going, and like, but in the end, I mean, my hair was falling out. It's bad. It's bad. So I needed somebody who'd been in my situation to tell me
it's okay.
Somebody else will come.
Yeah.
Somebody else will come. And he said, all you have to do is say you did that person one good time, and that's the only amount of times you have to do them to say you did them. You don't have to stay with somebody. And I'll never forget that conversation. It meant a lot. Like, yeah, doesn't matter if you did them one time or 12. You did them. Move along.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Etiquette Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives, just like you, on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Etiquette Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here with me, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join our community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. What I like to do is something called the Friends in Beauty Friday feature, where every Friday I spotlight a different friend in beauty and their accomplishments. So no matter how big or small you think it is, I want to shout you out. I want to send you some good vibes. So all you have to do is use the hashtag FIB Friday feature, tag Friends in Beauty on something that you have accomplished, and I'll share it with the community. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I truly appreciate you so much. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a comment, a like, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. I would absolutely love it. And also, I have to tell you that you should join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe if you haven't already, because they are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different business resources, tips, and advice throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, the link for that will be in the description as well. And last but not least, the most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. On this episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast, I welcome Tatiana Ward, aka Beatface Honey, to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. Tatiana is a celebrity makeup artist and educator. Her very start in the beauty industry was that of educating. Her precise and easy to follow YouTube videos have amassed over 13 million hits on YouTube worldwide. Tatiana's mass appeal, skilled artistry, and straightforward teaching style has transcended her from an online influencer to working with celebrities and educating live. She has been featured in major publications such as Teen Vogue, Elle Magazine, Buzzfeed, Ebony Magazine, and many more. Her bubbly personality and extensive knowledge of makeup has been featured on BET, The Steve Harvey Show, CNN, and the Fox Network as an on-air contributor. Having nearly 500,000 Instagram followers and a growing online presence, Tatiana has become a long-standing and respected staple in the makeup community, so much so that her live classes and private sessions keep her traveling the world. Let me tell you something. I am still pinching myself that I was able to have this amazing chat with Tatiana. She is one of my inspirations from the beginning of my career as a makeup artist. So this was truly a full circle moment for me, and such an amazing and transparent conversation about her journey in the beauty industry. In this interview, Tatiana shares how her journey in the beauty industry began and how makeup is just a small part of who she is, how she gained a huge following on YouTube, and how the platform has changed over the years, making it a little harder for creators. She also shares her experience with working with some of the top celebrities in the industry like Brandy, Nicki Minaj, and Keisha Cole, how she uses her other skills to generate income. She shares all of her excitement about her new product line, how she's balancing motherhood and staying motivated. She also shares some amazing advice that she received from Sam Fine, and she even shares something that she's never shared before about a particular celebrity that you may find very intriguing. I appreciate Tatiana so much for sharing her experience so openly. There are tons of learning lessons that we can all learn from that are sprinkled throughout our conversation. So let's go ahead and jump into it with Tatiana. And if you prefer to watch the interview, then tune in on YouTube. Welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Tatiana.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Oh my gosh. You have no idea. I'm like super tipsy right now. I'm trying to contain myself, but super appreciative for your time and for you. I already know you're going to drop like pure fire and pure gems on the podcast. But before we get started, I love to start off with icebreaker questions just so that we can get to know you a little bit outside of the world of beauty.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
Awesome. So just give us 3 random facts about you.
Oh my gosh. 3 random facts. Today I ate corned beef hash, which is like one of my favorite breakfast foods.
Okay.
Once I met Michael Jackson, which is pretty amazing.
Cool.
I didn't remember, like, it was like, I've met a lot of people, but like I kind of for 15 years didn't like remember actually meeting him. Mm-hmm. And then I started making YouTube videos and kind of blew up on YouTube, and some guy from South America was like, I love you for a lot of reasons, one of them being you love Michael Jackson. And I was like, how do you know that? Like, I don't think I've ever said that publicly. He's like, well, you know, the DVD. And I'm like, what DVD? And he's like, there's the interview that you did after you met Michael Jackson. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I met Michael Jackson, but I never told anybody that. And what are you talking about? And he sent me a clip. Apparently, I did an interview. Like, I was walking away from the table where Michael was signing CDs, and I'm like 19 years old and in like a complete daze. And I literally answered questions on camera about just meeting Michael Jackson, and I have zero memory of it. That's really how psyched I was. I have zero memory of it. And 15 years later, apparently they're selling a DVD in South America somewhere. That's where the guy was from. And yeah, super, super random. But yeah, I love Michael Jackson. Third fact. If you ever see me with my nails done, they are press-on nails. I hate getting my nails done. Hate it. And they are press-on nails if you ever see me with my nails done.
I literally always tell people the exact same thing. I don't have anything on now, but if you see me with my nails done, 9 times or 9.5 out of 10 is press-on nails because I can't stand it.
I can't. Like, what? You got to hold my hand, and like, my hands are inoperable because you're holding one, and like, I don't like beautification processes. The only one that I really like is makeup, and even then, I've been doing it for so long that it's like, I don't even wear makeup unless I have to.
Sounds just like me too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do like professionally?
Words. Like my friends and family, I am the caption queen. If they need me to like I'm the girl that you call, like, how do I word this? Or can you write this text for me? Here's what I needed to say. Here's who it's going to. Can you write this for me?
Yeah, I love that. I have a friend like that. Anytime I get like a weird email that I would normally respond to, like what I said was, or something like that, I always hit up my friend like, girl, can you write up something for me real quick so I will sound, a little crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, everybody needs one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs the word friend.
Exactly. When's the last time that you did something for the first time?
Every day, right? I'm a mom. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and it's always something new with her.
Was she into
the last time that I did something for the first time? That's a great question, and I just can't think of, aside from being a mom.
It's always something.
And there's just it's always something new. I don't know. I've never in my life celebrated Halloween before. So like I grew up with parents. We didn't do Halloween, and we didn't do like Santa Claus or Christmas. We did Christmas, but we did Jesus' birthday. We did not do Santa Claus.
Right.
But I did like a Halloween party, and it was like one of the first times I've ever really been a part of a Halloween party before. That was this Halloween.
Yeah, I don't even know what year that was, but I was a full-grown adult before I ever wore like a costume and went to a Halloween party. Yeah, for sure.
We have that in common.
I forgot. I have these things called pod decks.
Okay.
They're super fun. Random questions. It's a would you rather and a what the heck. Random is I don't know what. Which one do you want?
I don't know. Surprise me. I don't know.
I'm going to do would you rather because I had a what the heck earlier. So
okay.
Give Tatiana a good card. So these things be crazy.
Do you edit these? Okay. Was I supposed to say what I do or anything?
Oh no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
Okay.
So
you're picking a random card for me?
I'm picking a random card, and this is a would you rather. It says, would you rather take cold showers for the rest of your life or never get more than 4 hours of sleep a night again?
Oh, that's so wrong.
Ooh, that's bad.
Okay. Take cold showers for the rest of my life because I live in the Bahamas.
Exactly.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. I love it because I live in the Caribbean or somewhere where do that.
Cold showers.
Love it. Is there anything that you're looking forward to in the new year?
Just developing a product line, my existing line of lashes, and moving into more cosmetics. That's like the big goal. That's what I'm enjoying doing. Just product development and raising my baby, which is always every single day. It's a joy and something to look forward to.
I love it. Yes. Last one. If you weren't a makeup artist right now, is there anything else you could see yourself doing professionally?
I think if I weren't a makeup artist, I would be a lawyer, a journalist, maybe graphic design. I don't know. Yeah, those three.
Okay, not bad.
A songwriter. I'd be a songwriter.
Of course.
And then there's that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. I would love to know, like, let's just jump into it. Like, who is Tatiana? I think a lot of us know you from, being in the spotlight on YouTube and everything. But, when all of that like shuts down, like, who is Tatiana, like, at the core?
I drink whiskey. I swear. I love God. Big dreams. Frequently scared. Frequently reluctant. Let me not say scared. Terrified of being average. Completely average.
No way.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Everybody has so many different elements and layers to themselves. I really think like if I could compare myself to a celebrity, I would be Kanye West, where I think that like I have bouts of absolute genius. And then at the same time, although Kanye like it will not admit it, he definitely is like second guesses himself quite a bit too. Like the man admitted he got lipo because it got to him. Like,
yeah.
So I'm more the I don't know the lipo version of Kanye. I don't know. I'm a lot of things, but I'm complex. I think I'm definitely complex.
I like that.
But I'm cool.
Like, I'm cool.
I like who I am.
That's good.
And makeup is such a small part of who I am. Like it's really amazing to make a life out of something that unfortunately is really superficial, which makeup very much speaks to the very superficial parts of my personality. And superficial doesn't necessarily have to be like a bad thing, because we all have pieces of surface level behaviors that I don't know, but it's not the meat and potatoes of who I am, I don't think.
Okay, I love that. What is your earliest memory of makeup? Did you grow up playing in makeup or anything like that?
I was not allowed to play in makeup. And it's so funny because just today, as I was putting on makeup to do this podcast, my daughter was tinkering around, and it's the first time she ever said, "Mommy, makeup on me." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's happening.
What are you gonna do?"
I'm gonna do it. My mom didn't know, but we live in such a different world. Like, I'm 38, and it's like we had to grow up with like just looking like we look, you know, like
no filter.
This is what it is. Like, and if there was the girl in school that was wearing makeup, she was wearing like mascara and like lipstick and a little bit of mismatched powder.
Right.
But it wasn't like foundation, contouring, highlight. It wasn't all of that. So I don't know. I think that I will try my best to not have her. She doesn't see me wear that much makeup, so it's not going to be that hard. But it is like she doesn't see me like wear makeup or do makeup. So it's not going to be that hard. Who knows? I mean, in the coming years, I might be wearing more. Anyway, you got to keep me on track because I'll go all over the place.
No problem. It kind of broke up a
little
little bit.
What was I saying? What was the question?
No problem. It kind of broke up a little bit, so I'm gonna chop it up. But just asking you about your earliest memories of makeup.
Oh, but my fascination with makeup was born out of insecurity, which I think is a lot of women's fascination with makeup is born out of thinking that they have to perfect something, which is a lie. But I just remember wanting to be prettier and thinking that makeup would do that. Now I think we're breeding like a generation of girls who actually love the art form of it. But I don't really think that I think that there wasn't a lot of people who were thinking about the art form of makeup. Like years ago, we were just thinking, oh, that's just what you do to tweak yourself.
Right. I never even thought about it like that. Definitely is more so of the art now and less of the trying to cover up something.
Yeah.
So when did you start playing in makeup then, if you weren't allowed to, do it when you were younger?
I think once I like started getting acne, puberty, awkward stage, my mom allowed me to like cover up pimples with like foundation, but she still was really she stayed on top of like how much, let me not say my mom, it was really my dad who was like, yeah, but I definitely have some awkward school pictures. Like once I came, maybe 14, 15, I was allowed to dip and dabble.
Okay.
And we definitely have some awkward school pictures there where it's like the light you could see like at the hairline where it's like,
yes, got to go through it though.
not blended. You gotta go through it. So yeah, but the fascination, I remember specifically, Oprah talking about, it was either Scott Barnes or Kevin Aquan. It was one of the two. And I started doing research and then either she was talking about Kevin Aquan or she was talking about Scott Barnes, and I researched Scott Barnes and then came upon Kevin Aquan.
Gotcha.
But I remember buying Kevin Aquan's book about, oh God, what's the book called?
Faces, like, or something like that.
Yeah,
or Making Faces,
yep.
or something like that.
Making Faces or Changing Faces? I don't know which one it is, but it's but you're onto something there, yes. But I bought the book and I remember just being so fascinated. That is when it turned into a fascination about, oh wow, this is an art form.
Because I remember in that book he was showing how he can like transform people into like a 60s person, or like a the different things that you can do and transform people with makeup.
He took like celebrities that we know and transformed them into different celebrities. So like, for instance, I think he took Winona Ryder and made her into Marilyn Monroe. So I remember that was like the late 90s when I was like, or maybe mid 90s. I think I was maybe in 9th grade when I came upon that book and really was taken by the art form of it.
Yeah. When did you realize that makeup could be like a thing, like a career that you could really like jump into and make money from?
I think that my thought was never that I could make money from it. And I think that is one of the biggest things about me and so many girls, because I spent so many years now teaching girls in live classes and people ask about money. And of course it's a natural question, but I just loved it. And I wasn't necessarily thinking like, wow, I might be able to make a career out of this. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to learn more about it. And I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to study it, and I wanted to try it. So I never really thought about making money at it until I started, until it became, very.
But that wasn't the thing that made you want to do it.
Yeah. But because I spent my whole adolescence singing, songwriting, I was a recording artist. So I had a record deal when I was 16. That whole thing fell through. But I loved music so much, and I thought, what can I do to stay close to music? What can I do so that if I am not going to make it as a singer, I'm still around singers and I'm still around, music.
Yeah.
And I thought, I really, really love makeup. So I would really like to learn more about that. And if plan A doesn't work out, plan B would be makeup.
I love that. I like that idea, because you're definitely doing it. It seemed to work out that way where
I think really that's the case for a lot of industry people. It's like we were almost famous.
I love that. Is there ever a time where you not regret it, but ever wonder like, what if, the record deal would have went through?
Oh no, after working with so many celebrities, I realized that God spared me. God spared me the absolute mania that is fame.
Wow.
Like, it is just, Hollywood's a really dark place. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen what it does to like people's relationships and friendships and family and their psyche. And I was never going to be that strong where I could have withstood fame.
Wow.
I mean, you got to turn into, it takes a certain level of strength. So no, I think I do not regret it. I see that God allowed me to keep my sanity.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of those moments where like maybe in the moment you're like kind of bummed out, like, oh, I didn't get this opportunity or this didn't work out, but then in hindsight you realize why it didn't happen?
Oh yes.
Grateful.
Oh yes. And it's funny because I still got to stand on stage. Like I would be, particularly with Keisha Cole, I mean, I would be just literally standing on stage and watching like 30,000 lighters in the air, like, no! And I still got to experience that. You know, it wasn't my song and they weren't cheering for me, but I still got to experience some amazing things. So I think it all worked out the way God had it intended to work out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some things that you did early on in your career that kind of, I guess, set you up for where you are now? Like as far as practicing or maybe the type of jobs that you had? I'm not sure. Like what did the early version of your career look like when you first started? Like what kind of work were you doing?
My very first makeup, like consistent makeup job, I was working in strip clubs. I worked in strip clubs for 3 years. And that prepared me quite a bit for working with celebrities because I encountered every type of girl you could possibly imagine. And I had to deal with personalities and egos and addictions and all kinds of girls, sweet girls who were, you know, never had a family, spoiled rotten girls who were just maintaining lifestyle. I mean, all kinds of personalities. Right. Niecy Nash told me one time that she would deal with a makeup artist who was mediocre, but their spirit and their energy was good, over an artist who was phenomenal and had a horrible ego, basically, or personality. And I think that's true for a lot of people. Like, so you have to kind of be a people person. You have to get along with people. You're very close to somebody's face. You're very close to their, it's a transfer of energies for real.
Yeah.
So working in the strip club, I learned to protect myself, but also give of myself. It's got so much more. I gave the Niecy Nash story to say it's so much more than just skill. It's got so much to do with who you are as a person.
Right. And
my story, I can't tell without social media, because that was such a launching pad for me, So the Kevin Aquans and the Sam Fines and the Scott Barnes of the world, I mean, the amazing makeup artists who came before this generation, their grind was way harder in a million different ways. But people liked who I was, and that made me, and I would like to think I was also knowledgeable, but about makeup, but like people gravitated towards my energy and who I was and what I gave off.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same for whatever clientele I had.
I love that you mentioned that, because I wanted to ask you too, since you did do YouTube and like very, you have a great following on social media, like because you always hear like, oh, just be yourself and everything like that. Just, people will come, but like, how do you really tap into who you are for real and then share that? Like, I don't know, like, how do you really show who you are for people to really catch your vibe and like to follow you and everything? Just show up.
I think YouTube turned into like I'm a dinosaur in the YouTube world. Like When I was at the height of my YouTube fame, there were like 6 Black girls. And now it's like a bajillion girls.
Got you.
Of all ethnicities. I mean, there was like 10 white girls on YouTube that you followed, and then there was like 5 Black girls. Right. And there was, it's just turned into a monster. And I think I feel bad for the people, the young people in particular, younger people, not that I'm like that, I'm old, I mean, but I feel bad for them, because how do you stand apart? How do you set yourself apart? And then furthermore, it's turned into this kind of, it's turned into such a superficial, it's scary. Them YouTube streets is scary. Like, them social media streets is scary. Mm-hmm. We just literally turned on a camera and we're talking to the camera. There was no fancy editing. It was nothing but just a girl in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And it has evolved into a whole production. It was like, my whole story was, I'm in my parents' basement and this is just kind of what I'm doing. Whereas now, that's completely unacceptable. No, you have to be, it has to be lifestyle of the rich and famous. People want to see wealth. So the demand of the viewer has changed. Mm-hmm. Therefore, the demand of the, or the,
like the creative,
what you have to do to mm-hmm. create has changed. And that is part of the reason probably why my following does not grow. I stopped trying with YouTube, because it's mm-hmm. like, I can't. First mm-hmm. of all, I came to YouTube to share my knowledge, and I wanted to like hopefully build that into doing famous faces, right? Mm-hmm. So I did that. And then I was actually a makeup artist from jump, and I did that. So then doing celebrity, it took me, like, I was catching flights, I was super, super busy. So I couldn't necessarily make as many videos anymore.
Right.
I had a goal that I reached, kind of, and then it was hard to, like, for me to do both at the same time. So I don't know. I just feel like the YouTube, and then I took enough time away, came back, and it was like, it's crazy. Like, people just, it's just, people give more than I'm willing to give, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm grateful for your YouTube journey, because that's how I found you when I first started doing makeup. It was the video that you did where I think you were building a kit for somebody. You had all this stuff spread all over the counter. You had
my girlfriend.
The blue box lashes and everything. So you were definitely one of the people that I found when I first started doing makeup. And then to see another woman of color just out there killing it, totally cool. What is going on with my internet? Okay, we're gonna just keep it moving. But yeah,
I'm so glad I hear stories like that all the time, where it's like girls will be like, you taught me this. And I mean, Cardi B's makeup artist, who is amazing. She's like, I just basically learned everything from you. And I'm like, what?
That's like, so awesome.
You're amazing. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes, and I'm remember the whole Brandy thing happened.
Yeah, like, it just kind of skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm. Was that something that kind of like was like a snowball effect for like other celebrities? Was that the first celebrity that you worked with, Brandy?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And what was that journey like? Did you ever imagine that it was going to go like how it is now? When you first started doing makeup, did you even have a vision for how this is going at this moment?
Yes. Like, I thought this was the goal. It was the goal to just be doing celebrities. And it's kind of like fame. Like, people never know what is involved in it until they get there. Mm-hmm. So I knew that I wanted to do celebrity. Brandy is like the greatest singer of our generation, if you ask me. And I'm a diehard Brandy fan. So she was really who I wanted to get to. And that experience was such a learning experience. I didn't know how much that I should be paid. I didn't know, there were so many things. I could never have foreseen all that goes into doing celebrity makeup in terms of travel and just the demands. It's a lot of work. And then getting to Nicki Minaj, it's just like, if you could imagine how much Nicki Minaj works, that's how much you are required to work.
Wow.
And it is a lot. And I didn't have an agent or a spokesperson who was speaking on my behalf, my own representation. Still to this day, I had an agent so that I wouldn't have to speak up for myself and I could put it on somebody else. But then that guy totally robbed me blind. I did a $10,000 commercial with her. And when the check came, it was $2,000 after taxes, and he took his cut. And I was like, I'll deal with Nicki Minaj, thanks. I'll deal with her myself.
Right.
That bad experience, I just never got an agent again. I probably would work a lot more if I did, but there's a lot of things that you would have never foreseen. Just like people say all the time, oh, I just want to be rich and famous. And I think to myself, no, you don't. Trust me, you don't. Dang. You will. It's a beast. I don't know.
Are there any other highlights in your career that you're just super duper proud of?
This right here. This is a highlight in my career. Do you have this? I'm going to send it.
I don't have it.
This is amazing. It is the greatest eyeliner on the market. I'm very, very, very proud of this. It is my Pro Black magnetic eyeliner, and it's revolutionary. You can put on your eyeliner and you can stick on your lash. There's no need for glue anymore. It is both. So it draws a black line. I'm wearing it right now. It draws a black line. It's got magnetic elements to it that allow magnetic lashes to attach, but it doesn't have to be. It also has a stickiness to it that allows you to just stick any lash on. It doesn't have to be magnetic. It's super black. It's waterproof. And it's the first, I'm very proud of it.
It's your baby.
Very, very, very proud of it. And I'm even more proud that at the launch of it, I decided, it was just on my heart, that I would give away 100% of the proceeds for it. So in the month of December, if you buy the pen, I'm giving away 100% of the proceeds to 2 different charities. Very proud of that.
Okay, yeah. Which charities?
What's that?
Which charities?
The J.R. Halsey Foundation, and what that does is inner city children. It teaches them the art form of theater. Theater is something that I just feel like they should teach theater, and they should make it mandatory for kids to take improvisational classes. It helps you so much in your communication. It helps you so much in your confidence, learning to speak in front of crowds, learning to allow conversation to flow. I tell everybody, take your kids to an improv class. And this foundation helps children in underserved communities. It gives them something to do. And it's not just oh, do theater because you're going to be a big actor someday. It's no, these are actually life skills that theater teaches. And theater was really paramount in my life, in my YouTube journey. I learned to speak to everybody because I took theater, and I was used to standing in front of audiences and, beat the fear of, what if something stupid comes out of my mouth? Well, then you just keep going. That's what you do in theater. If you fumble the line, you just keep going. So I really appreciate that foundation so much and what they're doing for kids. And they also teach them some of the behind the scenes part about television production, editing. Super useful term. editing. I have like a whole side business where I just be making people's video stuff, girl. Like editing has become financially a source of money. Like for me, I know how to edit videos. So, and we live in a digital world. Like these are skills that these kids could really use.
Yeah.
Like, good. Why not? So, the James R. Halsey Foundation, super excited to give 50% of the proceeds to them, and also Topeka Sam is a amazing woman who works somewhat in prison reform, but she has this foundation called the Loam, or the Home. I'm sorry. Oh wait, no, the Loam. LOHM. Yes. And what they do is they help women who have been incarcerated come out back into society, better prepared to work. And it's because Topeka Sam, who frequently is like a commentator on MSNBC and CNN, she was incarcerated. She made poor choices that put her in jail. And she learned from her mistakes, but she understands what prison for women looks like and how awful of an experience it is. Yeah. And how, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, working in strip clubs. I learned so much about the things that bring people to certain decisions and means to an end. Like, and like I said, there's a lot of greed involved, but then there are girls who just didn't have a mom and dad. They had younger siblings that they had to feed. And, you know, they're doing what they got to do. It's just a lot of empathy for what Topeka Sam is doing, what she's been through, and who she's trying to reach back and help. So yeah, those two organizations are getting the proceeds of the Pro Black magnetic eyeliner. Super proud of that. And I want to do this like every September or every December. I think I'll just, for that month, give it away.
Yeah. What was the process
like? That is what I'm most proud of.
I love that. What was the process like for developing your the magnetic or the glue, the liner? It does so much. I don't even know what to call it. The pen.
The pen. I call it eyeliner because above all else, I mean, it draws a black line. But the black line can also, I mean, if you don't like a liquid pen, like it's got a felt tip. If you don't like that, you could just use the felt tip over whatever eyeliner you do like to apply, and stick a lash on. And I am not the first person to come out with this, but this formula is something that I cultivated because I have tried them and they were like too sticky. I've tried them and I didn't feel like they were sticky, and then they didn't adhere. I felt like every time I blinked, I could like feel it stuck on my.
Yeah, and the crazy thing that happens to me.
I tweaked something that's already. I did not invent this wheel, but I made this wheel better.
Yeah, the crazy thing that happens to me when I'm using the liquid one, sometimes it gets in my eye, and it's like all in my eye, and I just say forget it. I ain't putting on no lashes today.
Yeah, no. With the liquid ones, it's easy to over apply. Again, why I love my liner. You can press down so light and you'll get a deposit. That's the thing though. If you press down too hard, don't press down too hard. You could go about it super light-handed, and it draws a very faint line, like a super skinny, so you could really etch out your eyeliner shape that you want. Yeah. And then you could go in a little bit more heavy-handed. But that's makeup application in general, is how light or heavy a hand you use, you know? I'm sure you know.
Absolutely. And practicing restraint and not doing too much.
That is it is easy to do heavy makeup. That's why everybody does heavy makeup. What's hard is holding back. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Oh my gosh.
That's the difference between really exceptional makeup artists and I think everybody else. Heavy-handed is easy.
Absolutely. And when I first
Drag
started
is
doing
easy.
makeup, I thought that if I couldn't do makeup like heavy or like the Instagram style makeup, I was like, well, I'm not gonna get booked because my style is very like natural, like no makeup or just natural glam. People hire me for skin, like to get the skin right. So I always thought that if I couldn't do like a carved brow or like a heavy like beat, I was like,
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, nobody's gonna book me at all. But it's been fine.
Yep. It's quite the opposite. In fact, when I got Nicki Minaj as a client, I was like, oh my God, this is it. I will finally be able to, because I thought you had to do the absolute most. And then I realized very quickly, even the strippers didn't want all that.
Right.
So I got to do some fun stuff here and there. Somebody would want glitter, but in strip clubs, they call glitter divorce dust. So girls would be like, don't put that glitter on me. His wife is going to find out. Girl. So I never got to do fun stuff in the strip club either. And then when I got Nicki, I was like, this is it. I got the one.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm actually trying to go more natural with my look. And I was like, just like basic, yeah.
But I like that aesthetic on her though.
She's a beautiful girl. She's just a very pretty girl. So she doesn't her bones are very pronounced. Those cheekbones are very trini, pronounced. Like, yeah, she doesn't need to. You don't need to do much.
Yeah, absolutely.
With her.
Yeah, since we're talking about celebrities, I would love to know, because it's always, I think a lot of people aspire to be celebrity makeup artists, but like you said, it's a lot that goes into it. And some things I know that you're not going to really learn until like you're in the moment. It's just certain things that you just have to experience. But what is like set etiquette when working with celebrities, like the do's and the don'ts, like of working with them? So you can make sure they call you back.
Everybody's different. Like every artist is different, but Nicki definitely taught me like going from Brandy to Nicki, they are two huge extremes, like two very, very different girls. But Brandy wanted to talk like we were best friends, and it would be like, okay, we should probably shut up and do some makeup now. Nicki, it was like, do not speak unless spoken to. So working with Nicki, I just, frankly, I was scared of her. Like, I've never said this publicly, but she's not nice. I literally have never, ever spoken down on her. But it was not a good experience. And I learned from her so much, like so much. But in terms of etiquette, like with celebrities, I think that she's probably more right. Like, just don't speak unless spoken to. Allow them to warm up to you. Like, allow them to. Not everybody's going to be Brandy. Right. Most of the time they're not Brandy, but most of the time they're not Nicki either. Just also a huge thing is don't take offense if they don't like something. Don't argue. Like, just be like, okay, well, this is what I can do to fix this thing, or we're artists and it's easy to take things to heart. So your ego has to be left at the door though, because you are not the star, they are. And with celebrities, you have to be very careful of their egos. Very, very careful. They are very ego-driven people. That's, they live in a world where the world like mostly revolves around them. So you have to be very delicate with their egos. But which is why being quiet is best. And if somebody doesn't like something, they're criticized more than you could possibly imagine on their look. So you have to understand that, like, keep that in the back of your brain. Try not to get offended if they're concerned that they are not going to look their best or that you could do something differently. Just go with it.
Yeah.
Take and just listen to them, like listen to what they say they want. Let them know you're willing to work with whatever. But your energy has a lot to do with it, and just not saying too much.
Oof, that's a lot. Gotta hand those easy. I love the work that you're doing on Karen, though. Like, I'm a big fan of the Housewives of Potomac. I work with Ashley. I forgot what season I worked with Ashley. Yeah, I got to work with Ashley. I know it was like last season I did something. I saw my makeup on the show. Was it the season that just went off? And then the season before that, I got to do like some of her confessional looks. Wow. I'm a really big fan of the show, but when I see Karen, I'm like, yes, come through. Because I'm always looking at the makeup and everything. She looks so good.
Did you do? Oh, Ashley always looks good too. They all look pretty good. Not all of them.
Yeah, you know.
But they mostly all look good. Let me not be shady. That's so mean. No, but a lot of times it is not the makeup artist's fault. If a girl looks bad, I remember being at BET. I was filming with somebody, and I remember seeing a girl on the monitor who was being interviewed before the person I was with was being interviewed. And I remember thinking, who did this damn hair? This hair is terrible. Wow. Who let this happen?
And that throws off everything else.
I don't even remember the face. I just remember the hair being so bad, and thinking, this is a shame. And I'm on the monitor, like watching in the back room, and then I see her hairstylist walk by, one of the best hairstylists in the business, like can do no wrong,
right?
Absolutely amazing.
Right.
And immediately I thought to myself, he was not the problem.
Right.
She got what she wanted. Like that's how she wanted to look. So he didn't argue. Like, okay.
Those type of people, like, I'd be like, don't tag me. Just say you did it yourself.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, if you build a relationship with somebody, I don't know if that was his first time doing her. I don't know. It just, I knew it could not have been his fault. She wanted to look that way. But if you're with somebody long enough, or just a few times, and they're building, most people will take your direction, and most people you can interject in a kind way and be like, I understand what you're going for. Yeah. We'll try to achieve that. However, I think considering your eye shape or considering whatever, this would be better. You could put it to them to where nobody's ego's hurt. But yes, I love Karen. Karen is my dream come true. Like, she really is. I realized like very early on that I'm a monogamous makeup artist. A lot of people thrive off of like bouncing from artist to artist. I did that for a time. It was exhausting. There's people were jealous, like people were like, what do you mean you can't come? Karen takes care of me. She respects me. She's kind to me. I never have to beg her to pay me, because some of these celebrities, you will be shocked at who I've had to beg. Can you just please pay me? Like, right. It's been 3 months and you haven't paid me. Can I just like get my money?
Can I pay my rent?
Yeah, have to kind of live too. And I gotta eat. Yeah, Karen is a dream client. Like, she's literally an answered prayer, because I was burnt out when I met her. I was burnt out. I did not want to do celebrities anymore. Barely wanted to do makeup. Definitely didn't want to do celebrities. And she really is like amazing.
Are you still in Philly?
Amazing. She's just a dope person.
Are you still in Philly?
Yeah. I was in New York until COVID hit really hard. And then I had just had my baby. And then come October, it was like, this is getting super scary. I gotta get out of New York. So naturally, the best place to go when you have a teeny tiny baby is to go home.
Yeah. How are you balancing motherhood with your career? Or is there no balance?
I don't know how these kind of suck at it. I think I might suck at it. I don't know. Again, why I can really only work with one person. I don't know how these girls do it, and kudos to them, because I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it, because I am just not in anything. It's hard for me to stay on task if I have multiple tasks. I'm not a good balancer. So obviously my daughter comes first, but it is so nice to have Karen, who is a mom.
Right.
She understands it. And I think part of why Karen is so dope also is because she has not been famous her whole life. No. She did not get famous young, where a lot of people, most people got famous young. So they really don't know what it is to be a normal person, or they've lost touch with what it is to be a normal person. She has been a normal person for many, 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 many years,
right,
before fame came. So, and also she was a single mom. She understands. She's happy to work with my schedule, which is unheard of.
Right.
So I lucked up in that department. But the balance is a lot of late nights. You see these bags. I tried to give her my all, and she has learned, like, mommy's on the computer a lot. Some days, like, mommy's on the phone a lot. Some days, she watches way more TV than she probably should. But we're getting along. We're getting along. Like, I'm fortunate to have my parents, who are an amazing support system. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. You're not boring me. I just have very late nights.
Look, normally within like the next hour, I'll be asleep lately. I don't know what's going on with me, but
that's you have kids?
I don't. I just have a cat.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Enjoy it.
I know I will, for sure. I would love to know too, because I think a lot of people have like this misconception, like once you get to a certain point in your career that, you don't experience, doubt, fear, like you said, you was thinking about putting the brushes down and everything. Like when you get in those moments where you start to not feel your best, or you start second guessing yourself, or, who you are as an artist, as a person, like how do you bounce back and remind yourself, like, I am beat face honey, okay? Like I've done this, I've done that, like I've done the things.
Yeah. Those moments happen a lot. Especially like after I had some like crazy social media stuff happen, and it's like I have watched my followers like dwindle. It's hard to stay motivated because super long story short, my page got banned, and it disappeared for like a full week, and then they reinstated it, and ever since that happened, it has never been the same. I was growing organically, like 1,000 followers a month I was growing, and then it just stopped. And instead of gaining 1,000, I was losing 1,000. Still to this present day, it's still the same.
Wow.
So that is like a super mind fuck, for lack of a better word. But I think all the time, like I look at work that I've done and I'm like, this is trash. Like I could have done better. I think that's human. If you're not, first of all, if you're not thinking about, if you're not evaluating yourself, then you're never going to get better. But self-doubt and me are two peas in a pod, unfortunately. So I know all about that. Sorry, I yawned, and once I yawn,
the floodgates opened.
The floodgates, like, and I'm trying to not yawn again, but I feel it coming. Okay, there goes. Sorry. But yeah, self-doubt and me, I struggle with it. But then, like, again, my Kanye will kick in. They'll be like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know. But even, I would like to think that even if I wasn't like, even if I hadn't had the incredible stories and things that I've experienced, I would like to think that I would always come back to and rely on actually like who I am, not just like what I've done. Like who I am is, I'm decent. Like, and I'm deserving of decency. I'm deserving of good things because I'm a good person. Like I try hard, I try to be fair, try to be kind, like, so it doesn't necessarily even matter like what I've accomplished, you know.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, before you go, I do have to ask you about makeup. Like, I gotta know, like, what are some of your staples in your kit?
Shall we?
Other than the liner.
The liner, of course. I really love NARS foundations. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Good. This is my problem. Like once I start, I can't stop. And then sometimes I wonder if it's like I had an old lady tell me recently, like, you keep dabbing your eyes and people think you're crying. And I'm like, I know that's been happening my whole life. She was like, you should get that checked out. She was like 90. And she was like, you should get that checked out. And I'm like, holy shit. Did this lady just read me? It probably should. It never occurred to me to ask my doctor, like, why does this thing happen to me since I was a kid? Anyway, staples in my kit. I love NARS Sheer Glow foundations and also Radiant Longwear foundations. I love, this is a consistent that has always been with me, is MAC Studio Finish concealers. That is from strip club to present day. That has always been with me. Black Opal cream sticks. They've been around for like 10 years. And that's a staple for sure. Laura Mercier translucent powder. That's a staple. What else? In terms of like for skin, those are like the core. But eyeshadow, I could give or take whatever flavor of the week. Eyeshadows to me are just whatever. I really like Morphe's eyeshadows. I love Colored Rain. Colored Rain is turning out to be like their Queen of Hearts palette. It's been like 3 years now that I've been rocking with that, and I will continue. Like I buy it over and over again. And that's never really happened with a palette for me. I really like them, and it's probably also because they're Black owned, and I just love that they're Black owned, and I want to support. Yeah, that's pretty much like the go-to.
Okay, that's cool.
Is that good enough? Is that not a long enough list?
No, that's cool. I love that.
Okay.
What are you working on your legacy to be, if you ever thought about it? Like when this is all said and done, like what do you want people to say about you?
They already say it. Like I've literally received my flowers. Like just did Karen's makeup. I was in Virginia the other day. I'm so sorry that this is happening right now. I'm so sorry. I just did Karen's makeup the other day, and she has, like a lot of artists will have two different, or a lot of celebrities will have two different artists that they work with for hair and makeup, because she lives, 3 states away or 4 states away. So she's got to have somebody local. It's such a cool, gracious, awesome, sweet girl, very talented makeup artist. And she was like, I watched you for years and you taught me so much. And it's like, we're doing the same job. We have the same client. Like,
yeah.
How cool is that? I get to see that my handiwork helped you pay the bills. And that is freaking amazing. Like, so that is my legacy. I would like to think is that I genuinely met something in people's artistry journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible.
Absolutely. Anything coming up next for you? Anything coming up?
Well, there's always something.
Yeah, it's always something. Yeah.
No, nothing in particular. But again, aside from just developing, I started with lashes. Now with the introduction of the Pro Black Magnetic Liner, it's like a product that is mine, and I really would like to get into skin products next. That's where I'm tinkering right now.
Okay.
Like, yeah, foundation particularly.
All right. I can't wait to see it. Yes. Oh my God, this has been such an amazing chat. I'm still so tickled and like kind of like pinching myself a little bit. Like, if I'm really sitting here talking to her right now, oh my gosh, I'm so tickled.
Yes. See, because we do the same thing, don't we?
We do. But before you go, I have to ask you the rapid fire questions, the Friends of Beauty rapid fire questions. So whatever just pops up in your mind, just like spit it out.
Okay.
All right. So the first one, in your opinion, like, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
Oh, you broke up a little bit there. Sorry.
No problem. The first one is, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
I haven't given up. That's key number 1. I continue to learn. That's number 2. And number 3, I tap out when I don't like it. And then I come back when I'm ready to give it again, I guess.
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you measure your success?
I used to measure it by how many followers I had. And God was like, well, we're not going to do that anymore. So it's being reminded that it's the people I meet along the way that say, you taught me something. That's how I measure the success. That's how I'm reminded. It's never me who brings me back to like who I am. It's always other people, like the little people that God puts on my path that are like, you mean something here.
Yeah.
You've meant something here. Yeah, that's how I measure it. Like the little reminders that come my way.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
My grandmother, when she said, a man don't need to know all your business. I don't know. God, there's so much good advice, like in terms of makeup.
Or maybe like in your business or pertaining to your makeup journey, I guess.
I had this awful, super mean client that I really, like, my hair was falling out. And she hadn't paid me in a long time. And Sam Fine, OG, Sam Fine, very good friends with Rennie Vasquez. And Rennie had told me repeatedly, like, if somebody put me through what this girl's putting you through, I would have quit a long time ago. And I'm like, I don't know, something made me feel like I was doing something wrong, and that's why it was an abusive relationship is what it felt like. Like I would be sort of berated and then called back the next day like nothing ever happened.
Oh my gosh.
And then it got to the point where like the girl was continuing to ask me to come to work, but wasn't paying me. And I was begging management for my money at that point. And it was Grammy weekend. And I was like, I'm not coming if you guys don't pay me. And I'm relaying this to Sam Fine. And Sam Fine was like, let me tell you what you do. Go get a beautiful makeup case, put all that bitch's makeup in it, and leave it on her front fucking door and tell that bitch to give you your money because she now has everything that you have of hers.
Right.
And don't ever do her makeup again. You do not have to stay there. And I was like, that's exactly what I did.
Yes, Sam, for the advice.
And it was just a reminder he told me, he mentioned like one particular like supermodel and said that she was just so awful to him. And he just said, fuck you, I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know why I needed somebody to tell me that, but basically, it doesn't matter who they are. Nobody's allowed to treat you any old kind of way. It doesn't matter who's looking. You know, I felt an obligation to like my following to keep this thing going and like, you know. But in the end, I mean, my hair was falling out. It was just bad. It was bad. So I needed somebody who'd been in my situation to tell me,
it's okay.
Somebody else will come.
Yeah.
Somebody else will come. And he said, all you have to do is say you did that person one good time. And that's the only amount of times you have to do them to say you did them. You don't have to stay with somebody. And I'll never forget that conversation. It meant a lot. Like, yeah, doesn't matter if you did them one time or 12, you did them. Move along.
That's great
if
advice.
It's not working out. Move along.
That's excellent advice because a lot of times people are just afraid that they'll get blackballed or something or blacklisted.
And I believe I was.
Mm.
That's a whole other story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a whole other story. But, you know, it's
a part of the journey.
Yeah, it's just part of the journey. And like, you always end up where you're supposed to be anyway.
Exactly.
You always end up where you're supposed to be. Because first and foremost, your life is not your own. God is orchestrating things that you could have never imagined, in places you could have never imagined. It's never over until you're dead. So it's just going to you're always going to be doing something new. Like, that's why when you ask, like, what's something new that we're always doing something new, like, is going to be a phrase that we all say in our lives a million times. I used to be the cashier at McDonald's. I used to be a singer-songwriter. I used to be in theater. I used to be, I mean, there's a million things that we used to be. So I used to be this one's makeup artist and that one's makeup artist. And, you know, and none of Karen will probably be the only girl that I'm ever like, this is my friend. Like, I just love her. We get along like peas in a pod. Even someday, you know, she's gonna have to work with somebody else, you know, whatever, life happens. And I have amazing relationships with a lot of people. Like, just we don't talk when we see each other. It's love, you know, like whatever. But I don't know, life keeps going is what I'm trying to say. It just keeps going. So like, you're always going to be evolving and doing something new. That's just life. So no need to stay anywhere where you're not wanted. Another opportunity will come along. God's still orchestrating your path, and you just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's that.
What advice would you give to another makeup artist who is in that rut right now that we all go through, where they're just like, you know what? I am throwing down these brushes. I'm doing a kit sale. I don't want to do makeup anymore. This is not for me. But, you know, it's their passion, but it's not going the way that they, you know, want it to go. What advice would you give to them?
I don't know that I would give them advice. I would say, okay, is that where you're at now? Okay. Because you could come back to it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You said like the three things. You asked the question, like, what three things? Walking away at certain times was part of how I could keep going. Literally not doing it was part of how I could keep going, because you do get burnout. And so if you feel that way, or if your heart isn't in it, go ahead, figure something else out. Right. You used to be a makeup artist a year ago. Doesn't mean you can't be 2 years from now. Like, you know, it's a skill. That's the beauty of having, you know, a trade. If you need to walk away, you can walk away, but you could still do it. It doesn't mean that I would tell them, don't sell your makeup now.
Just in case.
But just in case, right. But sometimes it is good to walk away from something when it's no longer serving you, or when you've given it your all, recalibrate, go another route, and you will come back to what you love, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you'll always come back to it. It's not going anywhere, you know?
So what did you do in those times where you were not doing makeup? Like, just to still, I think a lot of times people are like, well, what am I going to do to make money? Especially people who are full-time. Like, if they decide like this is not what they want to do anymore, then they have to like do other things to make income.
There was never really a time I wasn't doing makeup. Like, let me rephrase that. I pulled back a lot though. But if somebody is at a point where, and I lived very, very simple life. I mean, you know, there was a time when I had a apartment in LA, apartment in Philly, a Benz, like a purse addiction. I had, you know, money in the bank, and I was working. I was booked and busy, honey, and I was not happy, and I burnt out. And so I just scaled back, continued to do makeup, did more like bridal, focused more on non-celebrity, rearranged my lifestyle, lived more simple. Gave up that purse addiction and just, I scaled back. But if you feel like you need to get out of it altogether, fine, go work a corporate job. Like, maybe that will, because it really is not for everybody. Like, entrepreneurship, is that the right one?
Entrepreneurship.
Remember when I said I was the word person? Don't quote me on that. Thank you. It's not for everybody. It is not easy at all. Like, so many times I thought, you know what, I just want to work an office job where I know how much money I'm making, where I got health insurance, where I could show up and got my little work buddy and my little work husband. Hi, y'all. Okay, see you later. Like, people are relatively normal. They're not batshit crazy and famous.
Right.
Like, there's been a million times that I thought that, but I knew that at present day, I knew that this was my path because I continued on it, you know, like, but again, I scaled back because I had to make money. In a perfect world, I probably would have just walked away altogether and would have worked a corporate job for a time, built myself up in another way, and then probably still would have ended up doing makeup because it's just in me, you know?
Got you.
It's very much in me.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, just keep going. If you feel like you need to walk away, do that. Don't go to extremes. Don't sell all your makeup, because you're still going to have a cousin who's getting married, or you will still pick up jobs. Like, somebody knows somebody who needs a makeup artist, and, you know, you can be available when money presents itself. But, you know, but I understand wanting to burn the thing and like I understand like never wanting to look at makeup again. I've been there before.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think with any artistry, like that's, I feel like Jimi Hendrix wanted to put down his guitar. I feel like Adele wants to stop singing. I feel like Oprah wants to stop interviewing at some point. Everybody is just like, screw this. Like, you know, but then you know that if you just keep coming back to it, that's how you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that it has to be your whole life.
Yeah, definitely.
That path is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What's a resource that helps you in your business, or your business that you can share with the Friends in Beauty community?
A resource, like-minded people, like-minded, really like friends.
Mm-hmm.
A real lifeline for me was making a girlfriend who wasn't a makeup artist. She was a hairstylist. In fact, she's upstairs cooking dinner for my daughter right now. She came to visit me from New York. But just being able to throw and bounce around ideas with somebody who's doing the same thing is huge. If you can meet that person, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you mean by resource? Like buying discounted makeup or
anything? So is there any like software that you use? Any I don't know. Is YouTube?
Oh, Canva.
Canva's bae.
The amazing Canva. Canva is like, it allows you to be kind of your own little graphic designer. It gives you templates to make like stories on social media, or and it's like $12.99 a month, and it's like they should absolutely charge more. Don't tell them I said that.
Yes,
because it's really worth it.
Yeah, I love Canva.
Canva. Mm-hmm. Here's a resource. You don't have to buy expensive makeup. I have never owned Chanel anything. Here's a resource, Rite Aid. Okay, you could buy makeup at Rite Aid. You could buy drugstore makeup. Like I said, Black Opal is a staple in my kit. People kill me when their kits are made out of, like, not even Kim Kardashian would I show up with freaking Chanel. Like, girl, there's like 6 makeup factories in the world.
All making the same thing with
they're all
different
making
labels.
the same thing, including my eyeliner. You go in, you could tell them to tweak things, but nobody's reinventing the wheel here.
Right.
So don't. That's especially why I've made the price point of my eyeliner what it is, because I would feel so guilty charging people what people charge for freaking eyeliner. It's just ridiculous. Like, the nerve of you, Chanel. Now listen, for those bags, you can charge whatever you want.
Right.
Those that lambskin, you can charge whatever you want. But makeup is just like, it's really about your skill level. So don't feel that pressure. Use that drugstore resource.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last one, I want you to fill in the blank and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is.
My name is Tatiana Ward, aka Beat Face Honey, and the key to longevity is to take breaks when you need them. Make sure that you're saving your money so that when a break comes, or when you feel yourself get ready to burn out, you don't go up in flames. You can rely on whatever you have stashed.
Right.
And don't watch too much social media. It's toxic and will make you think that you are not where you're supposed to be. But it's all a lie. Everybody's lying.
I love it.
That's
Yay. Before you go, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but share your, social media information and your website where people can get their lashes and their, their liner and everything.
Okay. You can find all of my products at beatfacehoney.com. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, which I'm never on, but if you'd like to go there for my annual tweet, you're welcome to find me at Twitter, Beat Face Honey, Instagram, Beat Face Honey, YouTube, Beat Face Honey.
Okay.
And Beat Face Honey, no matter where you find me.
I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing this. This is so crazy to me. This is really like full circle-ish, because I think the first time that I saw you in person was at the makeup show in 2013. That's the picture that I sent you. And I remember sitting front row. It was you, Danessa, and Rennie did a panel. And I was literally just sitting there listening to you all talk, just crying. Like, I don't even remember what you all was saying, but I just remember feeling so like, oh my God, I'm not about to cry. I just remember feeling like I finally found where I was supposed to be, because I've been a makeup artist. I just celebrated my 9-year anniversary. Wow. And makeup is literally the longest thing that I've ever stuck to in my whole life. So sitting there listening to you all tell your stories and everything, I just remember feeling so inspired and everything. So really appreciative for your perseverance, because I know it's not easy. So I always had the idea of like, well, if I quit, then what message is that going to give to somebody else who's looking at me as, something. So I'm really grateful that you stuck it out and everything, despite the challenges and the ups and downs that you've experienced in your life. Oh my God,
no, I'm going to cry. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes, just thank you so much, girl. So appreciative of you.
Yes, I'm so appreciative. See, that's the measure of my success, when it comes back to me like that, for real. Thank you. I'm going to cry about it now.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.